welcome back to the Pink Radish Vegan Kitchen. Today we're cooking from home and we are going to make a soup. It's actually going to be like a cabbage soup, like a stuffed cabbage. Think of stuffed cabbage, but it's going to be in soup form. So we're going to have potatoes in it. There's going to be leeks. I have the field roast Italian sausages. And then there's going to be carrots, celery, and of course garlic. It's going to have stewed tomatoes in it as well. And there's the field roast garlic, Italian garlic and fennel plant-based sausages. I love those things. I break them up and they look just like sausage, and they add a great flavor to everything that I add them to. So we're wilting down the leeks and the carrots and the celery. When this wilts down a little bit more, I'll add the sausage, the potatoes, and pretty much everything else, the cabbage. I like just to get a little bit of color on here, a little bit of caramelization, so that'll go for a little bit. As you can see, using the Instant today, which is always a time saver. When you're talking about cooking from home and making healthy food, soup is one of the very best things that you can put into your recipe repertoire. You can eat it for a main meal, like a dinner, and then you're going to have soup left over, probably for a couple days, like for lunch. It's just such a great way to get your nutrition in, get your veggies in, and really create something that is soul satisfying, which is what it's all about when you're cooking. And you know, I'm really passionate about people cooking from home. You can't beat a pot of soup when it comes to making a meal, as opposed to a greasy hamburger and french fries. This is the way that you improve your health, is you eat fresh, you eat foods that are very much similar to the way they came from the ground. Speaking of coming from the ground, I had to really work to get this leek clean today. It was very dirty. But it's okay, leek imparts a great flavor from your soup. And I just want you to start learning how to cook at home again, to really make things that are going to be, as I said, soul satisfying. Now the soup is starting to come together. The leeks are starting to caramelize. See that caramelization on the bottom of the Instapot? Oh yeah, that's pure flavor, baby. Pure flavor. So I'm going to add the rest of the stuff, the sausage, the garlic, and the potatoes, and get that into further caramelize. Okay, now the garlic and the onions and the potatoes and sausage have been added. We'll let that caramelize further, and then we will put the star of the show in, which is the cabbage. That's a half a head of cabbage. And then I'll add my various bouillons and maybe some Italian spice and the tomatoes and the little bouillon. And we're going to cook this for about 6 minutes under pressure. This is going to be an easy soup, and what's nice is it just hangs out until you're ready to eat it for dinner, and it really further intensifies the flavor. This is as I said, a one-pot, really simple soup to make. It's basically chop and dump, and we have dinner and a few leftover lunches for the next few days after that. You cannot go wrong with this soup. This is a healthy, hearty, delicious way to cook from home and get your veggies in. All right, all of the liquid has been added. The tomatoes and a nice generous helping of Italian seasoning. The bouillons that I used in this recipe today, I used the sauté onions, the Better Than Bouillon sautéed onion. I also used Orrington Farms vegan beef broth mix. That went in. And I don't worry so much about the levels of salt and things at this point. I just let everything cook down. And then when it's finished, I want to taste it and see what kind of adjustments to make. I know that with when you do stuffed cabbage, if you want to make this taste like a stuffed cabbage soup, there's usually a little bit of sweetness in there. I don't know if I'll do that today. Cameraman Steve is not a fan of food that has a sweet flavor to it. He would much prefer just plain savory. I might add a little vinegar at the end if I need to bring out some brightness, but pretty much this is ready to go. And I'm going to put the lid on. Now, if you don't have an Instapot, no problem, because you know you can make this in a big pot on the top of the stove. You're going to go through the same steps. You're going to add everything in the same sort of order. And, you know, I'll put the recipe below that I kind of made up this morning in my head. And you can do it on top of the stove. I like the Instapot because it concentrates flavors. I don't have as much liquid in here now because the Instapot also makes its own liquid. If you do have an Instapot and you are going to use it, one of the things that they tell you to do is when you have a lot of liquid in your Instapot, go ahead and let that come up to a boil on your saute function. So you can see I have it on saute. And the reason why is because it'll come under pressure faster, if that matters to you, if you're looking to get this going faster. But you know, my friends, once the lid goes on, it's pretty much hands off, which is why I also love this Instapot so much. I find that it saves a lot of time, a lot of energy, and it just does a great job. So if you don't have one and you see one that's on sale, I really recommend you grab it. The more you use it, the more fun you'll have with it, and you'll just stop being afraid. I know that when I first got my Instapot, I was a little bit afraid of it, thinking that I didn't know how to use it, and I didn't. There was a learning curve. But as far as it goes to cooking from home, this tool will be used over and over again to do that. Why is it important, again, to cook from home? You get to control your nutrition. You get to control what goes into your meals. You can use fresh vegetables. This is the no-brainer part of it. We all do need to eat more vegetables. And I know that since I have been vegan, but eating more vegetables, I don't know if I have said this on my channel or talked about it, but I did lose 120 pounds. Okay, the lid is on and it is already under pressure. We're going to do it for 6 minutes and the soup will be finished. One of the things that I wanted to talk about when we're talking about soup is to cook what you like. Make the soups you like. If you like a chili bean, make a chili bean, whatever it is. But once a week, I wholeheartedly recommend that you make a soup and have it on hand for times where you might be caught short and can't make a good meal. There's just something that is so satisfying, and you really enjoy the flavors when they come together in something like a soup. So get good at cooking soup, make several soups a week, whatever works best for you. But definitely, you want to cook at home. Well, there's the finished soup. It came out great. So don't take my word for it. Cameraman Steve.
Hey, how you doing?
What do you think of the soup tonight?
I think the soup is great. It's the perfect night for this. It's very cold and windy, rainy outside. Yep. And it's chock full of veggies. The broth is like tremendous. And we got a little bit of bread here.
And this is your second bowl, right?
This is my second bowl.
Yeah.
You know, because you can eat a ton of this and you won't be full, and you get a lot of great nutrition out of it too.
Yeah, that's for absolute sure. All the goodness just cooked into the soup in the crock pot. All right, well, thank you for your honest testimonial. And I'll let everyone look at that yummy soup again. There's nothing wrong with having soup, and it's so good for you. And when you're cooking at home, this is an easy, easy dish to make. So until next time, from the Pink Radish Vegan Kitchen, it's Barb.
And Steve.
And we'll talk to you soon.